On the 11th of February 1813, Ireland had its worst ever fishing disaster, when between 40 and 100 fishermen drowned in Bruckless Bay in County Donegal, although the official number currently stands at 80. The catastrophe left behind 30 widows and 102 children without fathers. But what makes the tragedy at Bruckless Bay so infamous is that it was allegedly caused by supernatural intervention. In the days prior to the tragedy, a large shoal of herring were spotted in the bay. Each day 200 or so currachs, a type of Irish fishing boat, sailed out into the waters and filled up with a catch of herring. Upon returning to the land, they were approached one morning by an elderly lady who was alleged to be a witch. She requested that the fishermen give her 5 herrings, which, out of pity and kindness, and because their catch was so abundant, one of the fishing boats gladly obliged. The next day, when they returned with their catch, the old lady appeared again, and once more asked for a handful of herring. Reluctantly, the fishermen obliged. On the 3rd day, she came back with the same request. By now, the fishermen had come to believe that rather than eating the fish for herself, she was selling them on and exploiting their hard work out on Bruckless Bay catching the herring. So the fishermen agreed that the next time she would come back, no one would give her any herring. And true enough, the next day she came back looking for her handful of herring. All the fishermen declined. With that, she said she would curse the fishermen. When they were out on the sea the next day, the witch requested a young girl to fetch a pail of seawater and place it in front of her. Soon the witch began a wild incantation until the water inside the pail was bubbling and frothing. She then ordered the young girl to pour the pail of bubbling and turbulent seawater back into the ocean. And with that, the sea around Bruckless Bay began to twist and turn as a sudden tempest came out of nowhere. The next morning, the nearby beach was littered in the bodies of the local fishermen. The tragedy had such an effect on the local community that for 200 years, up until very recently, locals would not talk about the events for fear that the witch would return. Some even speculated that the old lady was no ordinary evil witch and may have been the Cailleach Beara, the Celtic weather hag of the Atlantic coast, demanding tribute for fishermen exploiting her bounty. Today a monument sits on the beach next to Bruckless Bay, recalling the harrowing spectacle that left behind desolate communities of South Donegal and the supernatural causation which deeply affected the local community for over 2 long centuries.